Today we're going to try something a little bit different than normal. Same, but different. These are similar to comfort birds, but they're not going to be comfort birds. You'll see what's going to happen here. These are just hand drawn on here. I made them to fit this black cherry chunks that I have, so they're a little bit oddly shaped. If anybody wants a template from these, just let me know. I'll go ahead and I'll draw one up, and you can end up resizing it to your needs. Just let me know, and I can gladly and easily do that and get that emailed over to you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these out on the bandsaw, cut out these shapes like you've seen before. I'm not going to go ahead and film that because you know how to cut out around here and then paste it back together, glue it back together, and then cut out the sides and take it apart. And I'll show you what the finished piece looks like once it's done. I do have another video where I do cut these out, and I'll link that in the description so you can go ahead and watch that video if you'd like to see how to cut these out like that. So let me get started. All right, hello. As I stated, I've got these already cut out. This looks just like the comfort bird that we did before. It is going to be a little different. I'll show you that once we get there. I promise you it's worth waiting for to see what we're going to do with this one. Everything about it's the same as the comfort bird, except for the final step. This one, very similar. Nice long tail on this guy. Got a little bit of a problem here. Hopefully that's not going to cause me any issues, but we'll see. I'm sure you can see that hole going right through there. Hopefully I can do something really cool with it and still make it all work, but we've got that guy right there. So I'm going to go get everything set up, and I will start carving these so that you can see. Two options here, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, as you saw, I went to my extreme flame burr on here to really get this stuff off of here. Uh, this is a hardwood. It is black cherry, and now what I'll do is I'll smooth it out with that sandpaper bit and get this nice and clean and smooth. You can see I've got this hole going through here. I'm going to call it a feature. I may or may not. Let's see what we have here. That's pretty soft in there. I may or may not fill that with sawdust and glue. We'll see what happens. I don't want to break that little piece off there. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get that all glued in with some sawdust maybe, and see how that looks. I don't think it'll be too bad. What we're going to do with it, it'll be fine. So. So the big thing I was trying to do is get rid of as many of these lines from that flame burr as I can. There's still some in there, but I'll use my my other little sanding piece, this little guy that I made, to go ahead and get those out of there. I wanted to get some more sawdust in here, and I've done that. let that dry up, and then I'll take that flap sander, get that, and then I'm going to hand sand this because I want this nice and smooth. Just like I said, we're doing this just the same as if we were doing a comfort bird. But again, you'll see what it is. It's not a comfort bird. So now let's go to this one. This one's going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to look nice. I got this nice long thin tail coming out of here. The only thing I'm concerned about is right up in here. We will see what happens when I try to do that beak, and see what happens with that. All right, let's give it a shot and see what we can do. This little bit right here is scaring me because it is so thin. I think I'm all right. I just need to get it smoothed down now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's get this all smoothed out, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I did a whole lot of hand sanding on these things to get them smooth. I didn't film it because I figured nobody here really wants to see how to hand sand. You know how to do it. It's boring. It would be very boring to watch. These have been hand sanded. I'm going to finish them up just a little bit more. There's a couple of marks here that I want to get cleaned out and make look good. And then I will show you the final reveal on what happens with these. This one's going to be very different from this one. I'll show you the process and what I do to get to that point. Here's this guy. I've got a line on the bottom of him, and I'm going to cut a bit of a groove or a slot. And that way, he's going to be able to sit on the edge of a flower pot. Now, I'm going to make it so that it's big enough to fit this clay pot. It will fit a smaller one. If you've got a larger pot to put it on, you're going to want to make a larger groove, obviously. So let me go ahead and I'll get the groove, and I'll be right back. Took a little bit of doing, but I've got a groove cut right in there. And you've got to shape it so that it fits your specific pot. And then you just put your bird right on there. And he's going to be just sitting right there on the edge of your flower pot. Now, of course, this is actually an Easter cactus that my wife has started. It's just beginning to grow, and it's actually doing quite well. But then there we have it, a little bird that's going to fit right on the edge of this pot. Looks pretty cool. Now I just need to put some polyurethane on there to keep it protected, but that's all there is to it. This little guy is pretty simple to do, pretty fun, and it really does stand out and make a cool looking little gift for somebody. There you have it. That's where I filled in those holes. I like him. Let's see what we can do with the other one. Okay, so off camera, I took a dowel, as you can see here. I've stained it a little bit darker. Any thickness of dowel will do. this is just really an artistic piece that I'm doing. I have this base. It's a piece of walnut that I had with the bark on it, and I drilled this hole at an angle, and I put this piece of dowel in here. And I want our bird to fit right about here, something like this. So he's just out in air, perched like this, so that we have just this artistic piece. So let's see how I'm going to do this. How am I going to get this to stay out here? Well, let me show you. So I have a piece of this copper craft wire. I got it from a craft store. I don't remember which one. Heck, I may have even gotten it online. So now what I'm going to do is I have this little piece. I want the bird, as I stated, let's move this up just a little bit. I want the bird to be kind of at an angle like this on here, like so. So what I want to do is I'm going to drill a hole into right in here, and then I'm also going to drill a hole into the bird where I want this to attach to. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, so the holes are drilled. I got one, you can see it right there. I have one right in the bottom of the bird. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this piece of copper into this little hole here and do just a little bit of a wrap around here on this to help hold it where I want it. I'm going to need my pliers to kind of give me a little bit of a better grip here and to tighten that thing up, because I don't want this to be bending around and sliding on me. Okay, this still isn't completely dry, so that will dry and be a little bit harder. All right, so now then we put this here for the bird to help hold him into place. And we have something along these lines. Now I'm not sure I like this little twisty turny thing that I've got going on here. So I'm going to take this bird off, and we're going to see if I can give that a little bit of a turn and make this way. I just want something simple. I don't want a whole lot going on here. So I'm going to take a little bit of that copper wire off of there. I'm going to put this back on so that I have more of just a straight line. And then I'm going to aim my bird and get him adjusted how I want him. Just like so. All right. So now, there he is. He's attached with just a piece of copper wire. So next, I just need to go ahead and get our polyurethane all over all of this. And this is good to go. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of super glue down in here, underneath here, to keep him in place so he doesn't just randomly fall off. I'll be right back once I start putting, not the super glue, once I start putting the polyurethane on. Okay, I'm going to do this guy first. Get some polyurethane on him, or her. And hopefully as this dries, I can go ahead and do the other one and get 2 coats or so on here, because I do like the look of the 2 coats if I could do it. This is going to help. This isn't complete waterproof right here. This is polyacrylic actually, and it's not waterproof, but I would hope that if you're putting this on the side of a plant container or whatever, you're not going to pour water all over it when you're watering. You're going to be a little more careful with your watering tactics. So, okay, so now let's move over to this one and see him from top view here. Let's get this polyacrylic out of the way. So just so you can see what he looks like from the side view again. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to get my polyacrylic down here on the base. My glue is still not completely dry, but this thing is, with the super glue down in there, it's hardened up pretty well. So I'm happy with where it's sitting, as long as I don't knock it off and mess it all up here. But I'm going to go ahead and get this all done. I'm not going to, you don't need to watch the whole thing here, so you see what I'm doing. I'll get this all painted and I'll be right back. Hey everybody, this is future me. I decided to make a little bit of a change. We had the bird that has this with the lip, and I've found that there are so many different versions of the lips around the different planters that this when you do this, it only is going to fit one, so it's going to be difficult to do this for a friend or do it for somebody that says, hey, would you make one for me, or that you want to give out as a gift. You may not hit it just right. So I bought some 1 millimeter stainless off of Amazon, um, so that it doesn't rust, and then I put a 1 millimeter hole down in the bottom. And I think in the future I'm not going to make this cut in it, but I left it there just in case, because for us it fits the one I made it for. My wife loves it and puts it on there, but I wanted to show you uh, an option that you could use, because I'm telling you, we tried it on a couple of different planters in our backyard that she's got on our porch, and it doesn't fit a majority of them. I would need to make that a much bigger opening, and it just doesn't look as good. It takes away, once with this size that's on here fits down in there, and it's not all that noticeable. You can see it if you look, obviously, but it's not that noticeable. But with this, I can still put it at the edge of the planter, and I'll show you that. I'm going to go out and put it in there and show you. But you can also put it inside. You can also face it outside, like it's facing out. You can put it anywhere in there. So you might want to consider this little thing here. Just add this 1 millimeter stainless. It's flexible. I can't. It's flexible, but it's not. It will hold this up. It's not like it's going to fall over. So I'm going to go out and put it in a planter, and let's show you that. So there we go. I can put this anywhere in a planter, and it's going to sit, and it'll stay there. Now, if I need to, I can cut a little bit off if it sticks up too high for your tastes. We can. I've got it there, so now it fits down in there just fine. Um, it can go in a multitude of different planters. So let's see in here. So we can stick it down in there, and he fits right down in there just nice. So otherwise, this lip ends up being entirely too wide for that opening that I've made, and you may find that very same problem when you go to do yours. So doing it this way, I think, is a better solution, and it's one of those things I thought of after the fact. So there it is. It's in there. I think it looks nice. It's a great third option, I guess, to get this thing done. And he's a little bit crooked, so let's straighten him out. There we go. There we go. Perfect. All right. Thank you all for watching. So make sure you all go out and carve now.